Now, the United States led governments around the world in calling for the restoration of Myanmar's democracy on Monday after the military staged a coup, arresting civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi and other politicians. Just to give you a recap, plus more, take a look. In the United States, it said that the U.S. will take actions against those responsible if these steps are not reversed. That is according to White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki in a statement. She also said that the U.S. opposes any attempt to alter the outcome of the November elections, which handed Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy an overwhelming landslide, but sparked allegations of vote irregularities by the routed military-backed party. Now, the newly appointed U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, as we just saw, also called on the Myanmar's military to release all government officials and civil society leaders and respect the will of the people of Burma as expressed in democratic elections on November 8. Before the coup, Washington, alongside several other Western nations, had urged the military to adhere to democratic norms in a January 29 statement that came as the commander-in-chief threatened to revoke the country's constitution. In Australia, it said that we call on the military to respect the rule of law, to resolve disputes through lawful mechanisms, and to release immediately all civilian leaders and others who have been detained unlawfully. That is according to Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne. In India, it said that we have noted the developments in Myanmar with deep concern. India has always been steadfast in its support to the process of democratic transition in Myanmar. We believe that the rule of law and the democratic process must be upheld. That is according to India's Ministry of External Affairs in a statement. In Indonesia, it urged all parties in Myanmar to adhere to democratic principles and constitution. Indonesia underscores that all electoral differences be addressed in accordance with available legal mechanisms, the Foreign Ministry said in a statement, calling for restraint and for Myanmar to observe the principles of the Charter of the regional grouping. Meanwhile, Japan said it currently has no plans to repatriate Japanese nationals from Myanmar, but it said that it is also watching the situation. According to the Foreign Ministry, there are an estimated 3,500 Japanese in the country, but because of the coronavirus pandemic, the government had been advising citizens to put off travel there, according to an official who asked to remain unidentified, adding that there are no plans at this point to change the advisory. Meanwhile, Malaysia's former defense minister, Liu Chintong, called for the U.S. and China to intervene to prevent a major democratic regression. Mr. Liu told news portal Malaysia Kini a civilian government elected through elections should be defended. Military coups of any kind must be condemned, as this is against the wishes of the people of Myanmar. In particular, we must urge the two major powers, U.S. and China, to do all they can to prevent Myanmar going into another major democratic regression. However, Thailand, Cambodia, and the Philippines on Monday called the military takeover in neighboring Myanmar an internal matter. It's their internal affairs, according to Thailand's Deputy Prime Minister, Prawit Wongsuwan. He told this to reporters when asked about the matter. Longtime Cambodian leader Hun Sen referred to Myanmar's military coup as internal affairs of the country and declined to further comment. The Philippines is prioritizing the safety of its citizens in Myanmar and sees events in the country as an internal matter that will not meddle and that the country will not meddle with it, according to presidential spokesman, Secretary Harry Roque. He said what's important is the safety of our countrymen in Myanmar.